Taiwan and India are expanding their technology partnerships. Taiwanese chip makers are contributing to India's semiconductor ambitions, while Indian IT firms are helping Taiwan advance in areas such as banking, digital services, and AI. Bilateral trade was worth nearly $11 billion in 2024, and more industries are collaborating. We'll be looking at where the exchanges are growing and what both sides are getting out of it. I'm Divya Gopalan, and you're watching Connected on Taiwan Plus. For insight into the groundwork laid and what's next for India-Taiwan Fintech and Tech Cooperation, we are joined in the studio by Gauuri Kapoor, the Taiwan country head of Tata Consultancy Services, or TCS, which is part of the Tata Group and one of India's biggest multinational companies. Gauuri, great to have you in the studio with us.
Pleasure.
So let's start with the broader big picture look here. TCS has been operating in Taiwan for nearly 25 years. Can you tell us what its key role is here?
So way back in 1999, TCS identified Taiwan to have a very important position in the world. And we started our operations on 29th of March, 1999. So it's been 25 years we have been here. We started under the umbrella of Tata Sons, and then we got ourselves registered in 2004. We have our strategy has been for Taiwan, from Taiwan, getting the global experience. And that's what we expertise in. We have established ourselves very well in the banking sector. Most of the big banks are using TCS banking, core banking software. And that's what we specialize in. We are big in the technology space, and we are growing in the ICT sector.
Two questions here that I think our viewers would be quite interested in. Firstly, when you came here 25 years ago, this is well before the big semiconductor story that Taiwan now is at the central or has a central role in. What was it that TCS saw that was establishing Taiwan as like a key player in the global ecosystem?
That's where the TCS research comes into play. We look at the geographies which really have the potential to grow and the skills they bring in. And we knew the kind of budding semiconductor companies which were coming in. And our research said that's the next big area in the world. And we knew that it is Taiwan which will make that difference. And that's what prompted us to start our operations. We started very small. We were also testing waters at that time. But we soon realized that that's the place to be in.
Talk about being ahead of your time. Tell us about can you explain when you say core banking software, exactly what do you mean by that?
So TCS is very big in the banking space. We are a $30 billion company, and 32% of our revenues globally come from the banking sector. We work with almost 450 banks, and we have 200,000 employees working in this area. So we work in the cutting edge of the banking sector, right? So that was an easy entry for us into Taiwan. And now we work with the top 8 banks in Taiwan, where we manage all the transactions through our core banking system.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we've talked about banking, we've talked a little bit about semiconductors. So what would you say are the complementary strengths for hardware and in Taiwan and the software that India brings?
That's a great question. So there are 2 parts to it. One is the collaboration what we have. Now, let's look at a bigger picture. If there are 2 entities which need to work together, what do they need to have in common? The value system as well as the similar cultural orientation. If you look at India and Taiwan, we are a perfect match in both of these areas. If you see value for families, right? Hard work, focus on education, ensuring the cultural orientation. So we have that striking complementary skills what we have between India and Taiwan. And that's actually led to the collaboration which we had with respect to the software capabilities of India as well as the hardware expertise what Taiwan brings in. Now, if you look at India, India is the youngest nation in the world with a median age of 28.8 years, right? We are the fastest G20 adoption, revenue adoption country. We are 52 million workforce which is there with us, and we are the third largest startups. That means India has a big amount or large amount of skilled workforce which is available. Now, if you look at India, we have made our mark in the software space, right? Because of the big engineering colleges we have, and we have focused in training our workforce in all the cutting edge technologies, which gives us an edge over lot of other countries because our workforce is there working globally across different companies, leading companies in the world. That makes us very different. But if you look at Taiwan, they are the best in the hardware, whether it is semiconductor, electronics, PCB or the other areas. That's the kind of expertise which Taiwan brings in. They are super in their process modeling. They are very good in their IP protection, right? And a combination of such two, India and Taiwan, makes it a very compelling story for the world. Because the dynamics which we unlock is about creating a truly global high-tech company. And we are collaborating in many areas. If you are aware, there are almost 136 Taiwanese companies which are working in India. If you look at in the electronic sector, you have Pegatron, Foxconn, Wistron, all of them have opened their offices in India and leveraging the entire software piece of India. So that's how the collaboration is happening. If you look at the semiconductor space, the collaboration between Tata Electronics as well as PSMC or HCL and Foxconn, right? That is where Taiwan is supporting India in realizing their vision.
Right, and I do want to go into that a little bit more, and I do want to really dig into the semiconductor space because that is one area that is of great interest both for India as it grows its own ambitions and for Taiwan also. It needs to support its ambitions. But before we do that, let's bring it back to the banking sector here. Taiwanese banks like Taipei Fubon Bank and CTBC are planning to establish branches in India's gift city, Gujarat. Can you tell us what TCS's role is in that, and why is it that Taiwan banks seem to need or want to go and work in India?
That's a great question because beyond these two banks, there are other banks also who are planning to move to India, either opening their branches in larger India or focusing on gift city. So if you look at India, India gives a platform for a lot of these banks. We have a lot of government incentives which are going on. We have taxation, ease of taxation. We have very comfortable labor laws. We bring access to the entire world. If you look at India, it has a time zone which is overlapping with the rest of the world. So that means sitting in India, you get access to the world. Plus, India has good proficiency in English. So, you're actually able to collaborate with the rest of the world with a lot of ease. Now, talking about these banks and what companies like TCS bring in. So, we understand the local dynamics. We can help banks navigate through what are the regulatory requirements, what kind of infrastructure requirements they have, what kind of the application requirements they have, and what kind of human capital they need. Right? So, we being there in the country and having a global experience of banks, we bring in that kind of strength back to Taiwanese companies to actually accelerate their setup in the gift city or the rest of the India.
So beyond the banking system, what are Indian IT companies like TCS bringing to Taiwanese companies which are opening up their global capability centers or GCCs in India? Give us a wider look at what else TCS can do for Taiwanese companies that are moving to India, whatever sector they happen to be trying to get into.
Sure. So we need to just step back and look at what has India to offer. There are approximately 1,700 GCCs in India. So India gives that platform. It has the SEZ sectors, the different IT parks which are available. It has the incentives given by central government as well as the state government. We have the taxations which are very, very friendly. So India itself offers a very wide range of benefits for all the global consulting companies coming to India. Now, IT companies like TCS, what support they can provide is accelerate their operations, accelerate their setup. So with TCS, they can get access to the entire IT workforce, right? Whether you call as digital workforce, engineers to set up, backend, AI, analytics, with speed start them. They also get access to our specialized workforce, which is in the IoT DE area, cybersecurity area, AI, etc., so that they don't look at GCC just as back offices, right? It could be a center for them to actually innovate. And that's where they can use our innovation centers, which are there, to not just look at as cost arbitrage, but actually to bring in that kind of product innovation, higher speed to market, etc. Then TCS also has a global delivery model. That means sitting in India, they can have access to the entire globe because that's how our workforce is distributed. So we help them. We help them in the supply chain area as well because we get them integrated to actually their basic needs of the startups of India, colleges of India, dictating the curriculums and the kind of skill set they are expecting to have. So we bring in that one-stop solution for the GCC companies.
Beyond the semiconductor knowledge and the semiconductor expertise, why is India interested in having more Taiwanese companies on its ground, on location regionally? You talked about India's giving tax incentives, they've got tech parks. Why is it that India is interested in having Taiwanese companies there?
So India, not just Taiwanese company, India is open for the world. India is actually inviting the world to come and invest. And the reason is because of the global or the workforce what we have, the skilled workforce. And as I mentioned, we have very young population which can really serve. If you look at Taiwan, and if you have read the news today, major part of the workforce is retiring in next couple of years. That means they have very strong knowledge, but they don't have the workforce to actually take the vision forward. And that's where this partnership would help, where TCS needs that expertise and Taiwan needs that workforce. And together we become very compelling story in the world.
Speaking of a compelling story, before we wrap up this segment, can you tell us about the global coding contest that CTS runs, and how have the Taiwanese contenders done in that contest?
That's a great question. So, coding contest is basically for students, and it is basically to get back the importance of coding, yeah, and taking coding as a sport. So TCS has this global contest where a lot of students can participate. It's a very tough competition where it has 3 phases, which is your pre-qualification, qualification, and the finale. And this competition has taken such a good shape that it is in Guinness World Book as the biggest competition in the world with respect to coding. And it gives these students an opportunity to compete at the global stage. And that's what we want, that consciousness to come in the students, that coding still holds. Okay, you can't get away with your basics. Now, Taiwan has that talent. So last year, there were 15 colleges which had participated in this coding competition, and Jeffrey Hu had won the first prize. And he was invited to India for the finale round, and we were very proud that Taiwan was on the global map with respect to the best coder of the world.